He's you naughty. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another video. This week's video is going to be all about bringing Merlin back into work after his little vacation. And I know last week I literally just posted about him going on vacation. That's because I took a couple of weeks without posting a video. So by the time that I actually got around to editing and posting that video, he had already been on vacation for 2 weeks. So today is Tuesday, August 2nd. Can't believe it is August, like my mind is just not comprehending that this summer is passing by so quickly, and it's very sad. And I just had a long weekend, so I had Friday off from work and then Monday was a holiday, and I used that long weekend as a great opportunity to bring Merlin back into work, and I filmed some bits and bobs along the way. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy, and make sure to stick around to the end of the video to hear a little bit about what is coming up for Merlin in the next few months. Psych! I wanted to just add in a little bit of context before I started the footage. So Saturday was our first session. So on that day we kept it very simple. I put all his tack on for the first time in a few weeks, and I brought him out into the arena and lunged him. And you'll notice in the video that he's wearing a ride-on fly sheet. I bought him one when one of our local tack shops had a sale a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to try it out to see if it would fit him and see if he would mind it. I plan on doing a lot of hacking in the next few months, and something that will often prevent us from hacking is when the bugs are really bad. Hi friends, just want to add in a little note that obviously I did lunge him the other way, I just didn't film it. So, this is day 2 of bringing Merlin back into work after his little vacation. Yesterday, we just had a little lunge, and I'm glad I lunged him rather than just getting on straight from the bat, because he was quite spunky. I mean, spunky for Merlin, which means he bucked 3 times and was good the rest of the time. Get that out of your mouth. Some things haven't changed in the 3 weeks that he's been off. Still grabbing the reins into his mouth. So today, hopefully, will be our first ride. I'm just hand walking him to see how he is, and he seems fine. It's quite a warm day. It's like 9:30-ish in the morning on Sunday. Tomorrow is August 1st, which just boggles my mind. The plan for today is we'll do as much as I feel he's telling me that he wants to do. If we do walk trot and he's starting to feel lethargic or whatever, then we'll stop. We won't canter. I'm trying a new bit on him. Well, this is actually a bit that I used to use when I long lined him. It's a New Ashul Boucher double jointed bit. And basically I'm using it because a loose ring, which is what he was in before, just isn't very consistent for young horses, and the Boucher relieves pull pressure. From the research I've done, it's quite a good bit for young horses, and he definitely really liked it when we were using it before for long lining. This will be his first ride in it. I ordered a Shire's double jointed Boucher bit, but unfortunately it's too big. So we're going to borrow this one from my coach until his less expensive, less fancy one comes in. Let's get going. Oh, really? Okay, so I've been on Merlin now for probably about 5 minutes. A couple things I'm noticing right away is that, one, he is not nearly as nervous or scared of the bottom 2 corners of the arena, which is really, really wonderful, because that's the only thing in the arena that he's been hesitant about, is going in the corners near A. And that's the type of little thing that I notice after having given him time off. And like I said in my last video, whenever I've given him time off from any type of work in the past, I've always noticed an improvement. And this is the first little improvement I'm noticing, and it makes me really happy. So these are the corners he used to spook at. And he's still having a look, but he's not like bending around my outside leg and refusing to go into them like he used to. And as you can see, he, for a 3-year-old who just had, come on, back on the track, for a 3-year-old who just had 3 weeks off and has literally only come back into the arena yesterday to be lunched and once for a Liberty session, he's, you naughty. He's not doing too bad, and he's lazy as ever. Although every time we go by one of the letters, he's trying to grab the fake flowers. And here it is, guys. Merlin's first time walking over a pole under saddle. Big deal, eh, buddy? And what about 2 poles? How are we gonna handle this? Oh my God, so scary.
So friends, let's add in some voiceover to make this a little more interesting. So I actually ended up filming the majority of this ride on my Pivo, which I got for Christmas. It's the Pivo Pod Silver. And I will say I used it a bit when I had my old phone, which was an iPhone XS. But I've noticed a huge difference in this footage filmed on my iPhone 13 Pro. I just find that the tracking is so much more accurate and smooth. It doesn't like sort of jiggle and move as much. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So if you've been considering getting a Pivo, I highly recommend it. So I started out the ride with about 15 minutes of walking just to let him really loosen up and get comfortable with me being on his back again. Then I did a lot of sort of changes of direction and transitions at the trot. Another thing that I noticed that made me really happy is that his steering has gotten so much better. It's a lot more intuitive. He's really starting to understand the concept of inside leg to outside rein and bending around my inside leg, which is absolutely wonderful. And he's also just generally a lot more forward going and motivated at the trot than he was before his break. So here is a wonderful example of how his concept of bending has improved. So he used to get to the wall after the open part of a circle and just be super confused about how to continue. But because he now understands how to bend around my inside leg, he finds it a lot easier. And so that was his first time ever trotting over a single trotting pole under saddle. And as you can see, he was a bit confused. I decided not to do the 2 trotting poles this time and just focus on going over the 1. And I did it a few times, and every time we did it, he got slightly less chaotic. As you can see, that was a little bit better. So So now we're getting to the point where I'm starting to ask him to canter for the first time this session, and I decided to ask him to canter because he just felt like he had a little more to give, and as you can see, he picked up the canter relatively quickly. And I did notice that just like at the trot, he was a lot more, once he got into the canter, he was a lot more forward going and motivated to continue cantering rather than breaking. But then here he has a little trip or stumble, and I think it shook his confidence a little bit because after he tripped, he picked up the wrong lead several times, which he's never done before, so it surprised me a little bit. But obviously he's a young horse, and that's a common issue that they have, is picking up the wrong lead. So we just worked through it. I think he picked up the wrong lead probably, honestly, like 7 or 8 times. But I didn't get mad at him. We just worked through it. I felt myself getting a little frustrated at one point, so we just stopped and we took a break and continued from there. And as you can see, picked it up wrong again. But I will say is that he's doing the transitions very quickly, so even when something goes wrong, I always try to find a positive in it. And in all these transitions where he was picking up the wrong lead, he was picking up the canter very quickly. So even though it wasn't 100% the answer that I was looking for, I still rewarded him because we had that forward momentum, we had the quick transition, and he was technically doing most of what I was asking him to do. He was picking up the canter. And I had someone actually comment on an Instagram reel that I made of some of this footage that he balances himself really nicely at the canter for a young horse. And I never really thought about it before, but as I'm looking at the footage, I agree, yeah, he does have a really nice balance despite how clumsy he is. You know, in several videos he has tripped or stumbled or whatever, but he does have a really nice balance once he gets going. It's just the sort of in-between bits every now and again that sort of trip him up. But something I really love about this footage is how forward and keen he is. It's definitely the best that he's felt at the canter, and this was only his, I think, 4th time cantering under saddle. So every single ride he just seems to be gaining more and more confidence in himself, and that's exactly what I want to see at this point in his training. So now I'm just doing a little bit of trot on a long rein to help him cool out. My rides tend to be structured with about 10 to 15 minutes of walk at the beginning, followed by about 6 to 8 minutes of trot with walks in between. So we will say trot one way, walk, trot the other way, walk, and then we do our canter. This footage makes me laugh so much. So I have a little fanny pack that I bought to hold my phone when I'm riding, and I have some treats in it, and I realized that I ran out of treats, and just the look of utter betrayal on his face, and then he follows me afterwards, just makes me smile. And we finished up our time together on Sunday with some well-deserved breakfast and a shower after our ride. I was so proud of how good he was.
So I didn't feel like I needed to add anything to Saturday's footage, but I do want to give just a little bit of context for Sunday. Sunday morning, I went out decently early and rode one of the mares that I'm working with at the moment. And then I decided I was going to get up on Merlin just for a super quick, easy ride because it was quite warm. I went out as early as I did just because the heat warning for the day was going to go up to like 30 or 32. So I figured if I wanted to get any riding done, it would have to be fairly early in the morning. And by the time I got to Merlin, it was about 9 a.m. and it was already like 26, 27 degrees. When I started trotting, I immediately knew, yeah, okay, he's a bit lethargic today, it's warm, so we're just gonna do walk trot. And he did some really, really nice trot work. Sunday, I really noticed that his bending is so much better, like not just like his steering, but his general bending. He's starting to understand the concept of bending around my inside leg, moving from my inside leg to my outside rein and things like that, which is so important because once I get that, then I can start asking him to go into a gentle contact. Obviously, as a 3-year-old, I'm not going to ask him to connect properly or anything like that, but I do want to get him comfortable trotting long and low and going into a nice stretchy the walk, trot, and canter to get him working properly through his back so that we can start building up that top line. Because I tell you, though he does have a decent top line for a 3-year-old, he gets a lot of really nice conditioning outside with all the walking that he does. Something I did do on Sunday is at the end of the ride, I wasn't quite ready to finish up and he was still seeming content. So I decided, because it was so warm and he was being so good, that I was gonna get on him bareback for the first time, and it went super well. So you'll see those clips here. But something I will say is that it is very obvious that he is a young horse because, my goodness, his wither is very prominent and his back is very bony. So I'm very glad I ordered a bareback pad a couple of weeks ago and it's due to come in soon. It was back ordered.
I see you hide yourself underneath the mountain of makeup, plus the words that you made up won't make you any cooler than you are. But when you're with me and you're half asleep and I can count each freckle and see all your beauty that you hide, this ain't usually how you're like. Then you said, don't you be afraid of when your life's gonna end. You should be more worried it'll never begin. So I'll ask, how is life in Hollywood if all your dreams came true?
Okay, mommy's gonna get off, okay? Oh Lord, it's gonna be a long way down. Good boy. So yeah, that is it for the bringing Merlin back into work video. I could have strung it out over like a week, but to be completely honest, I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing, so there's no point in making this video any longer than it already is. So I mentioned at the beginning that I was gonna talk a little bit about my sort of goals for Merlin over the next few months. Originally, I had a plan that I wanted to try to get him off property once or twice this year, and I just don't know if that's going to happen realistically. I could probably take him off property and he would be fine, but I would rather spend the rest of 2022 just honing the skills that we are building and go into next year with some more sort of off-property based goals in mind. So over the next few months, I want to continue developing him on the flat. By the time he goes on his winter break sometime in December, I would like to have him working confidently in a nice stretchy outline. Lots of long and low to help build his top line and strengthen his core. I want to start doing some pull work with him. My main thing that I want to focus on over the next few months is getting him super comfortable out hacking. So the idea is for August, September, and October. September and October especially are my favorite months of the year to go hacking because the weather's beautiful and there aren't as many bugs. For those few months, I'm going to have him out of the arena as much as possible, just slowly and steadily building some fitness. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm so pleased with how he has just been in general, being started under saddle, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds. So if you're interested in following Merlin's journey and you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. I post a lot more frequently over on my Instagram, and I'm starting to get back into posting more frequently on TikTok, so if you want to check those out, they will be on the end screen. That's it. So until next time, I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are. Make sure to give your pony a hug or a kiss the next time you see them, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Beauty that you hide, this ain't usually how you're like. Then you said, don't you be